Hey everybody, it's Glenn, back in this video with the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Infinite Series Anti-Venom. It's from the Hobgoblin Build-A-Figure wave that will shortly join the Marvel Legends Avengers All-Father Bath wave. Anti-Venom is Eddie Brock, who is probably better known to most of us as the former host to the Venom symbiote. Brock became Anti-Venom after the Venom symbiote took the Scorpion Mac Gargan as host. Then Brock's white blood cells and the traces of the Venom symbiote still in his body combined into a new suit of human-alien hybrid antibodies possessing powerful healing abilities. Of course, the colour scheme is the inverse of Venom, with white replacing the black and vice versa. The black spider symbol is quite crisp on my figure, but it is messy in a few spots. And can they print the serial number on the bottom of the foot for Pete's sake? The body is a reuse of the superhumanly muscular one I believe was first used with Hyperion. Anti-Venom follows fellow symbiotes from the Ultimate Green Goblin wave, Carnage and Toxin. In fact, this Toxin is also Eddie Brock, who is the current host to the Toxin symbiote in the comics. And to that end, it came as no surprise that they are essentially the same figure with a few key differences. Beyond the deco, the main difference is the head sculpt. Toxin's Maniac Bunny head sculpt drew much disdain, yet Anti-Venom's head sculpt, it's much more solid in my opinion and in keeping with the source material of the comics. Now, Anti-Venom's debut in Legends form does undermine some of Hasbro's rhetoric, with some of the unreleased Legends that Hasbro have had us oogle at cons and toy fairs to then not release. Say for instance Phoenix Force Cyclops, who Hasbro justified the non-release of by saying that it was no longer a current look. Well, I hate to break it to you, Hasbro, neither is Anti-Venom, not for quite a few years in fact. Not that I take the addition of Anti-Venom as meaning we will get Phoenix Force Cyclops. I take it more as Hasbro are a slippery folk and make and break the rules of their character selection as they go along. An addition that does get my approval is the feet. With Toxin, they lazily reuse Hyperion's feet, which had the sculpted details of the soles of his boots. That just didn't suit the organic nature of a symbiote, so pleasingly with Anti-Venom we get more neutral feet without that boot detail. Now looking at articulation, and the head rotates. Due to his large chin, the head doesn't move far forward, but the head moves a real decent amount back. At the shoulder, the arms rotate and move up this far. He has upper arm rotation, double hinged elbow rotation at the wrist, and the hand is hinged to move down and up. He has an ab crunch which moves this far forward and this far back, rotation at the waist. At the hips, the legs move out this far and moves pretty far forward but barely back at all. Upper leg rotation, double jointed knees, lower leg rotation, and at the ankle his feet are hinged moving back and forward. Plus he has that ankle rocker pivot that earns its money here, with this being the widest stance possible with both feet still flat on the floor. Of course, Anti-Venom has also been the subject of a Marvel Select figure a few years back, so in the spirit of my action figure comparison videos, it's Marvel Legends versus Marvel Select, but which is the best? Side by side, and the key difference between the two lines is obvious, that being the scale. Legends are 6-inch scale while Select is 7-inch scale, yet with a character like Anti-Venom you could probably fudge its larger scale among a display of 6-inch Legends. And I say that as often in the comics, artists interpret symbiotes as being quite variable in size. When it comes to sculpt and deco, I really don't feel the Legends Anti-Venom offers much competition. The reuse of parts really compromises the flexibility to define the character. For instance, when it comes to the spikes on the body, these are confined to this piece that plugs into the back where Hyperion's cape connected on the original figure. Whereas the Select Anti-Venom is an entirely new sculpt that really captures the sinew texture of the symbiote with spikes spaced around the figure, and the sculpt is further complemented by the paint deco with a wash that accentuates the definition. Yet when it comes to articulation, the superposability the Legends line was conceived with is evident here. So whereas the head of the Select just rotates, the Legends one rotates and has a hinge. At the shoulder, the arms of each rotate and move up this much. The Select does not have upper arm rotation, whereas the Legend one does. The Select has single jointed elbows, whereas the Legends are double jointed. Both rotate at the wrist, but the Legend also has a wrist hinge, and the Select has no ab crunch, whereas the Legends one does. And so that trend of less articulation follows through on the rest of the Marvel Select figure. So as to which is best, it depends on what factor you place the most emphasis on, sculpt or articulation. But what should be noted is Marvel Select are contractually bound to apply no more than 16 points, I think it is, to a figure. Yet Marvel Legends face no such contractual limitation when it comes to a sculpt, other than the limitation that is of how much Hasbro want to invest in making a figure. Me personally, I side with the better sculpt, so in this instance it's Marvel Select for me. That said, it's best to put the Legends articulation to work, as with it you can strike the figure into some poses that help create a more monstrous posture, typical of a symbiote. Click the video on the right for my Marvel Legends Machine Man review. As ever, I sure would appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.